India performed poorly in the 2024 Paris Olympics and did not win any gold medals. As the world's most populous country, this is absolutely a shame. But after the Olympics, India announced that it would strive for the right to host the 2036 Olympics, which is puzzling. Why is India so persistent in bidding for the Olympics? It seems that whatever China has done, India must copy it. In fact, the Beijing Olympics is still one of the best Olympics. The huge investment of the Chinese government after obtaining the hosting rights and the high-level organization of the Beijing Olympics have been highly appreciated by the International Olympic Committee and even encouraged China to bid again many times. But it is obvious that hosting the Olympics is too expensive. The huge investment is not only difficult to recover the cost, but may also lead to debt. China's bid for the Olympics is part of the national strategy. The essence of this strategy is to build infrastructure and sports venues on a large scale, promote the development of domestic sports events, and improve the physical fitness of the people. After the Olympics, the Olympic venues built in Beijing have become places for holding events, large-scale events, and public fitness, and continue to generate economic income. Many cities in China, such as Shanghai, Guangzhou, Hangzhou, Chengdu, and Nanjing, have promoted the renewal of urban infrastructure by hosting large-scale events such as the World Expo, the Asian Games, and the Universiade, which has not only increased the city's visibility, but also stimulated economic development. What ordinary Chinese people can share from these large-scale events is not only honor, but more importantly, the improvement of the urban environment and the convenience of life. As the number of large-scale events increases, ordinary people have begun to care about the cost of hosting. If they spend too much, it is difficult to get widespread support. For example, if a city bids for the Olympic Games, people would rather hope that it or the province where it is located will bear the cost, rather than letting the country pay for it. As the capital, Beijing has hosted too many large-scale events. If it bids again, the Chinese do not want the central government to use national resources to help Beijing. In addition, the Chinese are also very self-aware and will not fantasize about unrealistic goals. For example, China is fully capable of hosting the World Cup, but the level of the Chinese men's football team is too poor. The Chinese cannot bear the humiliation of the world's football powers at home, so they have no motivation to bid for the World Cup. By the same token, as the world's most populous country, Indians should be self-aware that they did not win any gold medals in the Olympics. What is the purpose of a country that does not love sports to bid for the Olympics? Just to show off? Or to boost the economy? Bidding for the Olympics in winter with such a purpose is a blasphemy against the Olympic spirit. The International Olympic Committee has rejected India many times, which is worthy of recognition. You know, when China applied for the Olympics, it had been in the top few medals in the medal table many times. At the 2004 Athens Olympics, the Chinese team handed in a beautiful report card, winning 32 gold medals, second only to the United States. In 2008, relying on its local advantages, the Chinese team won 51 gold medals, ranking first. Nowadays, in every Olympic Games, China can basically get a number of gold medals close to that of the United States, and is also ahead of other countries in the total number of medals. Let's imagine that if India hosts the Olympics, but the Indian team wins 0 gold medals, it will become the biggest joke in Olympic history. The International Olympic Committee should not dare to take this risk and ruin the reputation of the Olympics, the largest event in human history. So, putting aside these factors, is India capable of hosting the Olympics? The answer is very simple, no. Although India ranks 5th in the world in terms of GDP, the statistical method has been revised twice by Modi, and even cow dung is included in GDP, which is not credible. Even so, India's per capita GDP lags behind Bangladesh and some African countries, and most of the world's extremely poor people are concentrated in India. India is still the most polluted and dirty country in the world. Even in the core cities of India such as Mumbai, New Delhi, and Bangalore, Most areas are full of garbage and animal feces on the streets, and the stench is overwhelming. When India hosted the G20 summit, the government built a long wall to cover up the extremely dirty slums, which became a major stain in the history of the G20. The world's most influential leaders gathered in New Delhi to discuss the path of human development, and not far away there are the dirtiest and smelliest communities on the earth. If Indian politicians still have a little shame, they will not be embarrassed to brag that they are an economic power. If it is just poverty, India should not be completely excluded from the Olympics. After all, India is a big country and there are always clean places. However, the fact is that India's infrastructure is very backward, not to mention compared with world benchmarks such as China and Singapore. Even compared with most countries in Southeast Asia, India is also very backward. People who travel to Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, etc., can find big cities such as Kuala Lumpur and Jakarta, as well as small and medium-sized cities such as Chiang Mai and Penang, and countless clean and beautiful towns and villages. The transportation facilities to these places are relatively complete, and the cost of travel is very low. But if you travel to India, you will face the worst transportation system and infrastructure in the world. Not only that, you have to endure crowds and the stench that fills the entire city. You can't eat local Indian food casually, and even drinking water, you must carefully choose imported bottled water. Otherwise, you may get food poisoning at any time, because this is the place with the most germs on the earth. Indians have developed the strongest immune system of humans, and people from other countries must not be overconfident. In addition, you must always prevent harassment from thieves and scammers. Even if you don't say a word, as long as you walk out of the station, you will be spotted by enthusiastic tuk-tuk drivers. If they can't make money from you, they will keep pestering you and don't care about your thoughts at all. The word etiquette is a luxury in India, and most people don't even know about it. What's more terrible is that women must not travel to India, which is the country with the most rape crimes in the world. Not to mention humans, even lizards and goats are not immune. Imagine if India hosted the Olympics, what kind of risks would those female athletes who went out to explore face? In 2010, India hosted the Commonwealth Games. Considering the harsh environment in India, the Queen of England did not attend, creating an embarrassing record in the history of the Commonwealth Games. When the athletes arrived in India with excitement, they were stunned by the dirty accommodation environment. The athletes even found uncleaned human feces in their rooms. Before the competition, a large number of well-known athletes, including Bolt, withdrew from the competition in protest. It should be said that these people are smart, because those who stayed behind experienced a nightmare that they could not imagine. A large number of athletes, especially swimmers, suffered from intestinal diseases because the water quality in India was not up to standard and bacteria such as E. coli were seriously exceeded. Some people also suffered from dengue fever due to mosquito bites. In the face of criticism from athletes from various countries, Indian officials shamelessly stated that India has provided them with excellent facilities and services, and it is the athletes themselves who are too weak. In fact, the International Olympic Committee has seen and remembered these shameless practices of India. They know very well that India is a country with rampant corruption, inefficient government, and backward organizational capabilities. The Commonwealth Games could have been a change for India to change its image and add points to its Olympic bid. But due to the bizarre operation of the Indians, it has become the biggest joke in the history of human events. If India is allowed to host the Olympics, it will become the biggest black swan event in the history of the Olympics, and it may even directly destroy the International Olympic Committee. Therefore, I suggest that the Indian government should calm down, build enough toilets first, clean up the garbage and feces on the streets, improve domestic security, improve the quality of the people, and let the people have enough food first. The Olympics cannot bring any honor to India, because in the hearts of people in most countries, India's credibility has long been negative. And even hosting 10 Olympics cannot save it.